YouTube, what's up, man? What's up? Welcome back to my channel, Life with Quan, man. I appreciate y'all for tuning in with me, man. Look, in this video here, I'm going to be getting into some actual loads that I booked, starting out with a brand new MC Authority. That's right, brand new out the door, man. Day one, I was able to get on the road and get rolling, man. And I'm going to be showing you some actual loads that I took, in the process. Keep in mind, these loads are not in any type of order or anything like that, man. These is just old records that I pulled up and threw something together just to get it out there to you guys. So just keep that in mind for me, man. But before I get started anyway, man, let me just shout you out, man. Home team, stand up. Home team, stand up, man. Y'all know what I'm talking about, man. Yeah, monetization, man. We have officially reached that monetization point, man, and the journey just began, man. We 3 weeks in, and we making some progress. So I just gotta tip my hats to you guys, man. Again, man, I can't stop expressing my gratitude, man, because it really is an honor, man, and I'm humbled that I can be of some type of essence and value into you guys' life. So let's go ahead and get into this video for the day. Before we get into the loads, I wanna give you guys overlook my 3 biggest expenses that it was costing me to operate my trucking business. Those 3 expenses being insurance, the cost of my rental truck, and diesel fuel as well. Those were my 3 biggest expenses. There was a bunch of other miscellaneous expenses as well. I just want to get you guys the biggest of the expenses and what it was costing me to operate on a weekly basis at that. So the first thing I want to get into is my insurance quote. So I was able to get commercial insurance through Progressive. If I'm not mistaken, don't quote me on this, but I was having really hard time finding insurance through any other insurance company. I don't know why I can't remember exactly what the problem was, but for some reason, Progressive was, the only, basically the only option for me to go ahead and get my commercial insurance. So that's who I ended up going with. And, a little tip for you guys is when you're getting out there, getting your insurance quotes and stuff like that, link up and make calls to some insurance brokers. You want to be working with the brokers, because these brokers have access to many companies, many other insurance brokers and whatnot. So they are able to find you the best of rates. I tested it out myself. I called Progressive personally to get a quote of the same type of coverage, and I was quoted at a much higher price than what I was able to get from an insurance broker. So just something to keep in mind for you guys. You might want to look into calling up an insurance broker. But let's get into our insurance quote. So as you can see here, my commercial and auto insurance quote for a 12-month policy, the total policy premium was $15,610, and that's the whole premium for the whole 12-month policy. You get a discount of $2,300 or whatever if you pay the policy in full, which I wasn't able to do at the time. Even if I was in a position, I'm not sure if I would have did that. But so yeah, we went ahead and went with that payment, $15,600, with the down payment being $2,639.69. So that was the initial cost that I was responsible for paying to get my insurance active. And then as you can see, the rest of the breakdown will be made into 10 payments of $1,298.04 per month. So that was my monthly insurance payment, $1,298.04. So how I would do it was basically I would divide those numbers up and to find out how much insurance is costing me on a weekly basis, how much is insurance costing me on a daily basis. So that would be in my, I have my monthly budget broken down, and then I would also have my weekly down to my daily budget and expenses broken down as well. So I would knew exactly how much I would be responsible for daily for operating my insurance there. But Yeah, as you can see, those are the numbers there. All right, now let's check out the price of my rental vehicle. So when we went to explore the rental options, I ran into similar problems such as the insurance, where we couldn't find exactly what we were looking for. I checked with other companies such as like Ryder and Budget and stuff like that, but unfortunately, these companies were trying to put a cap on our mileage for the week. They didn't want us driving over, I believe, somewhere between 800 or 1,200 miles or something like that. So it just wouldn't work out for us. We knew we had to put much more miles on the truck weekly to cover these overhead expenses. So it just didn't work out. So with that, the only other option that we had was to go through Penske. With Penske, we were able to have unlimited miles. It came at a fixed rate as well, but we'll get into that. But we were able to travel and put as much miles on the vehicle as we needed to. So let me just show you here a breakdown of the Penske rental agreement. All right, so as you can see here, we were able to get a 26-foot non-CDL box truck through Penske, and keep in mind this truck was dock height. It did have lift gate on it. It had E-tracks on it, and it also had air brakes as well. So it was absolutely suitable for what we were looking to do. And so we were able to get that at a daily rate of $180 with a weekly fixed rate of $900. Weekly fixed rate of $900, and with an estimated, this is only an estimated, so the mile rate that they were charging us was for 19 cents per mile. And for budgeting purposes and down payment purposes, we just put like an estimated mileage in here. So it would give us our estimated weekly expense of $1,250 per week. But as you can see here, we would do much more miles than that. For example, let's look at this weekly invoice here. We ended up driving a total of 2,544 miles. 2,544 miles at our rate of $900 and our mile rate of 19 cents per mile brought us to a total of $1,556.32. Which is extremely expensive. It is very expensive to go the rental route. That's why I recommend just getting out there and going to purchase, get you a nice used truck. I didn't have any experience at the time when starting this business up, and I just wanted to get out there and, even if I was to break even, that was totally fine with me. I knew I wouldn't make any money in the beginning, but I was just really looking to age my MC and just get my feet in the door. So this is why I even chose to go this option. But moving forward, I would not recommend, paying rental rates like these. It's almost impossible to survive out there, but it could be done depending on what you do. But anyway, so let's get into a breakdown of a fuel receipt that I have. I have a fuel receipt from Pilot J. Pilot, whatever. I have a fuel receipt here, and as you can see, at the time, this was 2022. The price of diesel was $5.39, basically $5.40. We got a 50-gallon tank, so on average, it would cost us roughly $300 to fill the tank. $300 to fill the tank, and if I'm not mistaken, we would get probably somewhere about 650 miles. I can't remember, but somewhere around there on a full tank of diesel there. So if we do use these numbers in comparison with our rental rates here, say we drove 2,544 miles for the week, and we're paying $300 for every 600 miles. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, roughly four and a half tanks of gas. So at $300, 4.5 tanks of gas. What are that? You're looking at $1,200, $1,300, $1,400 a week in diesel fuel alone. So yeah, you combine those numbers up, man, and you can see just how fast those weekly expenses become an arm and a leg. So we have, just take for instance, $1,200 in diesel fuel per week. We got $1,500 in rental rates per week. And, our insurance premium of $1,200 a month, which breaks down to $300 per week. lands us at, $3,000 a week overhead expenses, man. And keep in mind as well, there are also some smaller miscellaneous weekly expenses that I had as well. I'm not going to get into those now, but which landed me at a grand total of nearly $3,500 a week to operate this vehicle of ours. So there you have it. Those were my 3 biggest expenses to operate my box truck company. All right, now let's get into a look at some actual loads that I was able to book with a brand new MC Authority out the door day one. Keep in mind that these loads are in not any specific order. I just pulled some old records up and put together a bunch of Raycons here. So just to show you guys some loads that I was able to secure and complete, day one out the door. So let's get into it. All right, load number 1 here was through Vision Freight. Oh yeah, something else to keep in mind, man. As you can see, majority, if not all of these brokers that I work with was actually on the list that I gave you guys of the 16 brokers that I work with you on day one. So yeah, this is just some insight on how I actually work with quite a few of these brokers. So load 1 here was through Vision Freight, and this load was going picking up at Lockbourne, Ohio, and it was going to Henrietta, New York. This was a 404-mile trip, and it paid $925. The second load here was through TQL. We got a load from TQL going from Etna, Ohio to Warwick, New York for a total of 529 miles, and we received $1,500 for this load. This next load here was through Trinity Logistics. This load here was going from Mason, Ohio to Webster, New York for a total of 498 miles, and we received $1,000 for this load. Something to keep in mind with these loads as well, as you can see here, you want to pay attention to the notes and all the specifics of these Raycons to make sure everything is proper. As you can see here, face mask required on site, and it must be dock high and air ride. So these are important factors to be mindful of when you're booking these loads. You want to make sure you got all your ducks in order. So moving on. Next load we have here was through D&L Transport. This load was going from North Tonawanda, New York, going to Watertown, New York. A total of 217 miles, paying $600. This load here was through Yellow Diamond. It was going from Levittown, PA to Boston, Massachusetts. A total of 283 miles for $600. The next load we have here was through XPO. This was a fairly local order for me. I remember just sitting home one day and this load popping up. It's like literally around the corner to go pick it up. So I went and did it. It's going right up the street, so it was a super easy load, man. But yeah, it's through XPO. It was going from Albany, New York to Saratoga Springs for a total of 34 miles, paying $400. I remember dropping that off to a college campus there. All right, so the last load I'm gonna show you guys here. This is actually where things begin to take a turn for the worse. There were some other loads in between that I'm not gonna get into, but this load in particular here, this is the load where I told you guys about how my box truck partner took the load without my knowledge and landed himself in the dead zone way out in Colorado somewhere. Pretty bad load. It might not look that way off the rip, but once you get into the our weekly overhead expenses and the cost to make this load happen, it definitely wasn't a good load to take. But it was going from Clifton Park, New York to Centennial, Colorado, and it was through Trident Transport. That was a total of 815 miles for $3,400. Keep in mind, to travel 18 100 miles, that's gonna take you at least 3 days to complete. And mind you, with the fuel rates at the time that we discussed, just to get there alone, you're probably gonna be paying, over $1,000, if not 1,500, in diesel fuel and depth as well. So, and as you can see here as well, you'll probably be paying even more than that just because of the weight of load. If you look here, it says the approximate weight of the load is 8,700. We're in a 26 foot box truck, and with a 36,000 gross weight value. So our max that we can haul for our loads is 10,000. The heavier the load, the more fuel you're burning through, especially driving in a long distance trip like this. And that's just approximate there. I'm sure my partner at the time, they didn't take any heed to any of this. This load could have easily been well over our gross weight value. These brokers are not always accurate with their information. It's important for you to do your own due diligence. They may have the miles to the destination written down on the Raycon. No, you do your own due diligence. You Google search from your location to where you need to go to drop off and see the actual miles listed, because sometimes they will try to undercut or undermine some things just to get those cheap rates out there. But no, you got to be on top of your game there, man. But yeah, there you have it. This is a list of some actual loads that I was able to book with a brand new MC Authority, man. I hope this helps you guys out there. I hope it motivates you to get out there and give it a shot, man. I had one failed attempt. I'm looking forward to get back into it soon. I have a lot of knowledge, and it's money to be made out there. So I really appreciate you guys, and I hope y'all enjoyed this content. If y'all did, man, if you appreciate what I got to tell you, please be sure to hit that like button, share, and subscribe if possible. Thanks a lot, man. Stay tuned.